What up, fam? Welcome to Living For You, the YouTube channel. It's your favorite cousin, your favorite uncle, your favorite brother, your favorite father, your favorite nephew, your best friend's best friend, me, Dr. Larry Smith, and welcome. You guys already know this is the channel where we go and we relax and we come together and we grow with each other. I grow, you grow, we grow together. And we're building a community of positivity and positive spaces and good present living people, and that's what we're doing here. So this is a healthy place. This is a safe space. It's a positive place, and I hope you keep coming back. Some of you have been regular subscribers. I love you. Thank you for subscribing, and thank you for continually coming and watching the videos and subscribing to the channel and reaching out to me on social media. If you want to know more about Dr. Larry Smith, or if you want to know more about the business of Live For You Coaching, which is my life and spiritual coaching business, you can go to www.liveforyoucoaching.com. That's www.liveforyoucoaching.com. Should you want to connect with me and follow me on a daily basis, you can follow me at Dr. Larry Smith on both Instagram and Facebook. And if you want to connect to me, you can either connect through social media on Instagram and Facebook, or you can reach me at drlarry@liveforyoucoaching.com. So I'm here, I'm available. There's many services I offer. Just reach out, talk, have conversations, leave comments on the videos. Do all of those things, and let's connect and let's grow and let's become the best present people that we can possibly be on this planet. Anyway, so I wanted to get on here and have a conversation. Now I'm gonna start this by saying, let the church say amen. Let the church say amen, right? And the reason why I say that is because our boy, Kirk Franklin, and all of you guys know Kirk Franklin. Kirk Franklin is a Grammy Award winning, million copy selling, heavily awarded, world-renowned, well-known gospel singer who we love. We love Kirk Franklin. I've been loving Kirk Franklin since Silver and Gold days, and probably before that. And I followed him all the way down to I Smile, and we all stumped with him and knew we needed a revolution, and we got that revolution, right? We got that revolution, but when it was all said and done, we knew we could lean on Kirk Franklin, or lean on me, and we grew. And he connected to me, Kirk Franklin is like the gospel connector of the secular world. Secular, I don't really like terms like that because I think it's all spiritual. I think every interaction is a spiritual movement. But if you are of the gospel Christian community, you know that there is secular and then there is Christian music. And so Kirk Franklin melded the two worlds together and so seamlessly, they made the Christians think sometimes secular people can get the Christian music and make the secular people dig and love Christian music. So Kirk Franklin is a well-known gospel artist. Well, over the weekend, Kirk Franklin and his son, I think it was his oldest son, I'm not sure, but they got into a confrontation. And it just so happens that the son recorded this confrontation and released this confrontation on social media. Yeah, that part. Yeah. And it was surprising to some people because during the confrontation, Kurt had a few colorful words to express what he was feeling towards his son. And people were all up in arms, and things ran up, and all of these things came out of people, and they was like, wait a minute. This is a gospel singer. In fact, I listened to it with somebody, and the person said verbatim that I now look at Kirk Franklin differently because of the choice words that Kirk Franklin used to express himself in anger towards his son. And people felt that way. And then there was this whole chorus of people who was like, yay, you're disciplining your child, and you can discipline your children because that is what you're supposed to do, to keep them on the straight and narrow, to keep them doing what's right, and ABC and all of this thing. And then Kirk Franklin shortly thereafter issued an apology for losing his temper, and he talked about the contentious relationship between he and his son and all of this other stuff, and it became an apology for my words and for what I did, and that I let you guys down and all of this stuff. And so I thought about all of it, and here's the thing. There's a lot of different components to this for me, but I'm gonna say in short, I'm not mad at Kirk Franklin for cursing. I have no issue with a gospel singer cursing. I have no issue with a preacher cursing. Now, anybody who knows me on a personal level, I'm not really a cursor per se. Every so often, if you make me mad enough, every so often, if I just feel like it, I don't put any restrictions on it, but then I'll say a word. But generally, those who know me know that I communicate my emotions and feelings and thoughts and expressions in many different other ways. I don't need curse words to add emphasis or add punch or power to what I got to say. If I'm going to say something mean, or if I'm going to say something that's not going to be nice, or something that needs power, I just put it in another way and say it and get the same, if not more, power than just a simple curse word can give. But and I do get the jokes and get people saying, oh, he's all pure and this, he doesn't curse, and they try to get me to curse, my friends, and I just don't really need to. But like I said, it doesn't mean I don't and I haven't. I have, and sometimes if I choose to, I do. I just don't have a need to do it, right? And there's a lot of people like that. So I'm not weird in that regard. Or I might be weird, but not for that. And so anyway, so I'm not mad at Kirk Franklin for cursing. I don't think anybody should feel restricted, whether it's their religious beliefs or not, to stop. If they curse, to not curse. I think sometimes as people, in all communities, I see it even in the Black community and in the church community, we hold people to certain standards that they can't do things that we normally would do. They can't do things that we would consider less than. No, we shouldn't be holding anybody to any unmeasurable, arbitrary standard out there. Humans have the propensity of being humans. That's whether you're me, that's whether you're you out there watching, that's whether you're Kirk Franklin, that's whether you're the President of the United States, that's whether you were Jesus, that's whether you were Hitler, that no matter who the heck you were, and I should say hell, because I said I was going to curse, right? So no matter who the hell you are, you are not held to any standard to make you superhuman. And even if you were superhuman, I don't think you should be held to certain standards to be infallible and to not make mistakes or to not do something out of character generally. I remember back in school reading about the gods of the Greek gods, and even some learning about the African deities and some of those in Native American deities. Even those gods had flaws. Right? Even those gods made mistakes and fell short of their godlike nature. Even those gods were not put on a pedestal so high that it was impossible for them to make mistakes. So if it's good for the gods to be valuable and make mistakes in ancient religion, then what is for us to put people like Kirk Franklin or C.C. Winans or the president or our parents or our friends or whomever on a platform so high that they can't fall down without making it a big deal. So no, I'm not mad at Kirk Franklin for cursing. I knew he cursed. I'm like, Kirk Franklin is the guy who is open to secular music. He's kind of this cool guy. He likes rap. He hangs out with hip hop dudes. Come on now, right? It's not out of expectation for me, and it's not uncomfortable for me, and it's okay for me to hear Kirk Franklin swear and use curse words that I don't even use. So I'm good with it. I'm good with that. But the issue that I have, right, is the parenting. That's where my issue is with Kirk Franklin. Not the fact that he is a parent and he is doing a job. Now I'm gonna say from the jump, I'm not a parent. And I know some people out there say, well, if you're not a parent, you don't have a voice in what it's like to be a parent. Nope, but I am a child of someone, and I've experienced parenting that wasn't always healthy. I've worked with clients who are parents who are learning how to be better because they've experienced parenting that was not always the healthiest. And so I am an expert on relationships, and parent-child dynamic is a relationship. In fact, it is probably the most important relationship you will have as the foundation of your life. And so it is important to address that. So my addressing here is about the parenting that Kirk Franklin promoted, right? When I say that your children are, even as they grow older, They are receiving the seeds of what you're implanting in them. And those seeds aren't just seeds for them. Those seeds are seeds for generations to come, because people can only pass down to their children what they learn from those adults around them. And the closest adults you have are to parenting. And so calling the child out of his name, saying these words to him that are hurtful, and saying you're going to beat his this and all of these other things, says something deeper to me, in that Kirk Franklin's parenting style, when he's angry, at least from what we see, can be an aggressive, kind of toxic parenting style. And that probably is partly the reason why him and his son have a contentious relationship. Now don't think that the son gets off easily, right? The son, you're old enough to be able to respond to this and to record this and to release this. So to me, that means you're old enough to be responsible in how you behave as an adult or a growing child. And so therefore, my biblical scholars know the Bible says children honor your parents. And if you do that, your life will be long. While that's a proverb, that's kind of a truthful statement, in that what you sow into your parents as far as honoring them and respecting them, your children are going to sow into you as far as honoring you and respecting you. So if you don't know how to treat your parents, you can't expect your kids to be able to treat you of any honorable way. And so it's completely out of line for a child to do such an dishonorable thing. I don't like the fact that the son released the tape, because it was in an attempt to ruin and tarnish his dad's name. So therefore, that honoring is not even there to say, my dad's one of the most world's famous musicians in the gospel community, and I'm going to try to hurt him how I can hurt him the deepest. That's not honoring your parents. So this dynamic between this father and son, which is not abnormal. Like I said, parents and children have disagreements all the time. I certainly have disagreed with my parents, and my parents certainly have disagreed with me over my lifetime, right? In fact, the last time I spoke to my mom, she was arguing with me. I wasn't arguing back because I just quit doing that, but that was our last conversation, and it's still to this day it's a feeling I get, because I feel like I could, if I had known, I would have built more, I would have done more, I would have just resolved it in a loving way if I had known. But life doesn't always work in our favor in those regards. And so the contentious relationship between Kirk Franklin and his son, we see, we know, we understand, we get it. But how do you figure out how to love in compassion? How to love in comfort? And you guys know how I feel about men and how we are, and how we feel like aggression is a go-to emotion to solve problems, when really aggression is something that creates more problems. And so I think it's important that we learn how to interact with our male children, or any younger male, teenager, young adult, in a way to where they see that we're vulnerable enough to allow them to grow, to approach us, and to discuss what they need to discuss with us in a healthy way. Somebody has to be the stability. And I'm of the mindset that generally the child isn't going to be the stability, because they don't have the life experience to just turn that on like that. Usually children, younger adults, are very more emotional than your average, especially if they're under 25. Under 25, men especially, we're barely still maturing the way that we need to. So we respond out of our emotions a lot of times in frustration when we have it. And so it takes the parent to be that sounding board in a healthy way. And unfortunately, Kirk Franklin was not the healthy sounding board that his son needed. And now the world knows that. Now, should that change what we think about Kirk Franklin? No. In fact, it should actually open our eyes to stop putting people on the pedestals that I talked about early on, and kind of congratulate him just for having a human moment and dealing with it, and even acknowledging that human moment. To me, that's the most powerful thing, is that he acknowledged that he had a moment, and he's trying to get to a better place, and that he asks for forgiveness. Like I said, he didn't have to do that for me. Other people feel that same way. They feel it differently because they felt like he was just, he was just disciplining his child. The reality of it was he was verbally abusing his child. But at the end of the day, we don't know the full glimpse of the relationship. But we also need to discuss things in a healthier way with our children, so that to prevent it from being something bigger and creating a wedge. We have to learn how to have healthy disagreements. Disagreements are normal. Parent-child disagreements are normal. Disagreements between friends are normal. Disagreements between relationships and lovers are normal. But the goal is, how do we make this disagreement healthy so that this disagreement is not a scar? Because a lot of times disagreements become a scar for us that takes more time to heal, instead of something we're passing through and we handle it in a mature and in a healthy, comfortable way to where we don't get scarred from it. This, obviously, the situation between Kirk Franklin and his son is going to be a scar for his son, clearly, and it's going to be a scar for Kirk Franklin. And maybe it's going to be a scar for people who put him on a pedestal and think that he couldn't and shouldn't, and it's just unthinkable for him to do this. Maybe it'll be a scar for them against him, or maybe against the gospel community. But like I said, your value starts from within you. So you can't really put people on a pedestal and expect them to live up to your expectations. And that's what I got to say about Kirk Franklin. It is an interesting situation, and I know people are talking about it, so I'm talking about it. I'm giving it from my perspective as a life coach, as somebody who works with people in relationships, parents and child, and parents and children, and other things. But I will say, on the foundation, parents, we have to learn how to communicate to our kids and allow our kids to communicate to us openly and healthily and transparently, and not verbally assault or abuse them, or even physically assault or abuse them. We have to do it in a healthy way. But children, you have a responsibility to your parents that no matter what, you will honor them, even if that means walking away. Even if that means not taking revenge, like releasing a recording. Just being able to handle your parents that way. And because it's going to interact with each other. You're going to feed off your parents, and your parents are going to feed off you. You will want the parents to be the more mature one, but that doesn't always happen. But at the end of the day, each person, men, be responsible for your emotions and how you express those emotions. And make sure you express them in a healthy way. And anger, verbal assaults, physical assaults isn't a healthy way to express emotions. And hopefully, by this being exposed, maybe Kirk Franklin have learned that lesson from embarrassment. But we shall see. So that's all I got to say about that. It's an interesting story. I'm sure we'll hear more about it. People are clamoring about it on social media. It's in a roar. It's everywhere. So that's why we're talking about it. As I always say, thank you for coming and sit with me, chatting with me. I love you all. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media at Dr. Larry Smith on Instagram and on Facebook. Visit www.liveforyoucoaching so that you can know more about my business, should you want to patronize my business. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next video.